Amazing, my beautiful viewer. Welcome back to our show. And today we're talking about leadership and specifically African leadership. And the question is, did Africa ever free herself from colonization? Did Africa ever free herself from colonization? Or the partition and scramble of Africa, it's something that has been there, and it will continue to be there even in the future. And if at all Africa has to free themselves from such a colonization, what are they supposed to do? Let us use an example of West Africa. From 2020 to 2025, we've had five successful coups d'etats in West Africa and five unsuccessful coups d'etats in West Africa. Five successful and five unsuccessful coups d'etats in West Africa. And what are the reasons to why these coups d'etats are planned and executed? One of the reasons to why is it's because of the worst leadership. What most of the people look onto and say it's the worst leadership, and because they want to free themselves from those leaders, they plan a coup d'etat. And most of these coup d'etats are planned by military people. Even those people who are so close to the presidency of the time, they are the people who plan for these coup d'etats and execute them. And those five have been successful and five have not been successful. They do this. The second reason why they do this is they do that to show they are not satisfied with the leadership of the day. And when we talk about that, they incline their reasons to a given person or a given countries or given countries that are enabling some factors within those countries that are kind of enabling corruption, that are kind of enabling various factors in those countries. And even they will add the issue of taking natural resources of those countries to other foreign countries that colonize those countries sometimes back. So we talk about colonization and asking you whether African countries ever freed themselves from those colonizations. Some of the countries collaborated with their colonizers in the name that they are freeing themselves from the colonizers, but they collaborated. How did they collaborate? They just accepted for those white or blue or green people to leave, or the gray people to leave, but the systems of those people still remain intact in those countries, enabling those people who are colonizing them to continue running those countries remotely and facilitating most of the happenings in those countries remotely. And the whole of Africa is affected. And I believe maybe the only country that is not that much affected with as such, because it was never colonized, it's Ethiopia. But again, there are investors who are in Ethiopia controlling things remotely. We have wars that are happening in Ethiopia, tribal wars that are happening in Ethiopia. So we can't rule the fact that there is a strange hand that is involved in whatever is happening in Ethiopia. So let's look at some of the successful coups and coup d'etats. And what happened is that the world, Africa, is running away from the West. And they're not running away from the West to try to rule and control themselves. No, they're running from the West going to the East. And this is what is really happening. And I'm trying to open your eyes over here so that you can see. The West is going, the East is coming in. So we are still under the scramble and partition of Africa. And this is what most people don't really realize. Africa is being divided into pieces or into places and pieces depending to whoever comes with whatever goodies that they're bringing to Africa. And they all have interests. And you will understand that most of the places where these coup d'etats are happening, those places have what we call natural minerals that are very, 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 very needed to some of those countries that are enabling these coup d'etats. There are those countries that are running away from French. There are those countries that are running away from the US. There are those countries that are running away from England. But once they have run away from those countries, can they self-sustain? No. They don't have a way to self-sustain themselves. So what they do is they will run to the east or Asia to go look for other collaborators or people who enable us. Let me use the word enable us, will enable them to achieve what they want to achieve. So it's not about freeing themselves. It's just a matter of changing whoever you want, changing of masters. I'm tired with this master, and this master has enabled me to chase away this master, so I will become a slave to the other master. So it's just a change of slavery. I'm tired with being a slave during the day. I want to be a slave during the night. That is what's happening in West Africa. Because these countries are not just enabling, but because this enslaver wants to prove that he's the best, he will try to do what we'll call try to polish his name, make himself clean. The very thing that Jesus says, he's a tomb that is smelling, but he tries to whitewash himself to make people, to fool people. The best word uses to fool people that he is the best choice. But when you continue going deeper and deeper, you realize that he is not the best choice. There is no the best choice than self. And even if these people go, do our own brothers and sisters are ready to take care of their own? No, they are not. So this enslaver must come. The master must come to rule, either directly or remotely. And most of the African countries are enslaved remotely and not directly. They are those that you can directly see the involvement of a third hand that is pushing things left and right, east and north, east and west. And you'll understand what I'm talking about if you're a true Pan-Africanist. And I've heard many people talk about being Pan-Africanist, but do they really? Because as much as they're Pan-Africanist, they're trying to cling themselves to other people to get the resources that they need. So let's go through some of the countries that had successful coup d'etats in their own countries. There is Mali, experienced two coups d'etats in less than 1 year. The first was in August 2020 against President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita, and the second was in May 2021 against the civilian leaders of the interim government, bringing Colonel Assimi Goita to power as a transitional president. The second coup d'etat that was successful is in Guinea. In September 2021, a military junta led by Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya ousted President Alpha Conde after he had amended the constitution to seek a controversial third term. Burkina Faso saw two coup d'etats in 2022. The first in January ousted President Roch-Marc Christian Kabore, and the second in September brought Captain Ibrahim Traore to power with both coups citing the government's failure to contain Islamist militant violence. The question is, when Ibrahim Traore came into power, did he stop it? Somehow, and most people travel to that country and they're saying that that country is growing bigger and bigger. But we've seen the hand of Russia in that. I've seen the hand of Russia in that. As much as they ran away from French colonies, that was really digging deeper into the natural resources in that country, gold, as per the information that is made available on social media. There are still people who are doing great there. We saw the presence of Wagner forces, and the Wagner forces are known very well to be from where you know. The fourth coup d'etat that was successful in West Africa was in Niger. President Muhammad Bazoum was overthrown by his presidential guard in July 2023, led by General Abdurrahmane Tiani, amidst concerns over insecurity and governance. And the last coup d'etat that was successful was in Guinea-Bissau, a successful coup that occurred in November 2025 following a disputed election results where military officers took control and established a one-year transitional military government. Unfortunately, they never returned. All these coup d'etats have not returned the rule onto the civilian. They are still in power. Hmm? You're getting something over here? I see. You're getting something over here. Then we have the five failed coup d'etats in West Africa. The first one is Guinea-Bissau. That is what has happened this year. Prior to the successful 2025 coup, there were failed attempts in February 2022 and December 2023. The Gambia, a small group of soldiers attempted failed coup in December 2022. They did not manage. Then we have Sierra Leone. Gunmen attacked several locations in the capital Freetown in November 2023 in what the government confirmed was a failed coup attempt. Then we have the Burkina Faso one that was against Traore. The government announced in April 2025 that it had foiled a new planned coup d'etat, and this one was said that the mother of Francophone was involved in that, but who knows? There's always a way to coil things and make someone look that he's superior and untouchable. It's a game that most politicians play who are smart enough. They can add other mystical powers, say that he was rescued. As much as you can shoot 100 bullets, that guy won't be affected. There's none of the bullets that is just to scare people. You're creating up a story to make people feel like you are untouchable. So it happens for people who understand these things like us. Some of those stories are just they get from the right here to the left here, and then you're just like, oh, okay, Mr. Immortal. But at the end of it, the Mr. Immortals or Mrs. Immortals or Miss Immortals, they come to an end and die. So it is. And in Benin in December 2025, the government announced it had thwarted a coup d'etat, and that is this month. Well, it's so tough. The recent wave of coups has led to significant political realignments in the region. The military-led governments of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have shifted away from traditional Western allies, as I told you earlier, Western allies, particularly French, and have deepened security and economic ties with Russia. Told you. So it's not just about freeing yourself from, it's about creating, just getting yourself, running away from your master and getting yourself another master. That's what these African countries are doing in the name of that they're freeing themselves. But this master they're getting themselves into worse than the other master. So, whatever. These three nations have also formally withdrawn from the Economic Community of West Africa, as states as ECOWAS, and formed their own mutual defense pact and the Alliance of Sahel states. Whatever that is, the main thing over here is Africa is still anti-colonization, and Scramble and Partition of Africa is still very much effective, and it will continue being effective until our so-called leaders will open their eyes and see. But because they cannot open their eyes and see, okay, mine can't open but bigger. Because they can't open their eyes and see, they will still be running from one master to another master, one master to another master, one master to another master. You guys saw what Trump did. Congo, the issue of Congo and Rwanda. Some of those pacts or signs that they signed include some of the mineral, okay, things to do with minerals and all that. So it's not that they are freeing themselves from the waste. No. So it's now Russia takes the northern part of Africa, then US and the European Union takes the bottom side of Africa. The bottom side of Africa includes South Africa is much against the West, but they are pro-Russian. So it is what it is. Until we will ever wake up, we will still be ruled and be controlled. Not by religion alone, not by religion alone, but even by our leaders who don't want to open their eyes and see. It's just for now. I don't know what are your sentiments on the same. Leave it in the comment section. Let's learn more about it. The Scramble and Partition of Africa, Part 1.